Okay, I guess I'm live, guys. Good morning. I don't know if anybody's there or not yet, but I always talk to my wife about conspiracy theories and things like that, or facts nowadays. And sorry about the lighting, but it's early, and I'm waiting for everybody to get to the job so we can start our day. Anyhow, I made a list a while back all the conspiracies that are going on, and this is for entertainment purposes only. But everything that we've been told so far, from what I've come to learn from about 2013 on, everything's been a lie. Uh, where we live, the that the government is here to help us. I mean, it's in the word. The root word of government is to govern the mind. That right there should give you a big red flag. And if it doesn't, then you need to wake up. I wish sometimes I could just shake you and say, "Wake up!" But a lot of people aren't ready yet. Still, more have woken up, but even then, they want to pick and choose which truths they want to believe, which the truth is the truth. You don't get to pick and choose. I'm sorry. I mean, you can pick and choose what you want to look into, but it's all going to lead you back to the same place, to the ones that are in charge, which honestly, I don't think we have a clue of who is really in charge at all. I think that you have people that they say are in charge. So then that way there's a fall guy, kind of like everything that goes on right now. I think there's ones that we have no idea about. I don't know if they're the fallen. I don't know if they're the watchers. I don't know if we're the fallen. There's a lot of contradictory information out there, and sorting through it does take a lot of time, and you have to have an open mind. And I think that's the hardest part is realizing that you don't know and be willing to look into it honestly and openly and to entertain it without having your mind already made up. Uh, One of the biggest ones that I started out to disprove it, was the on the shape of our realm that we live in, and I got so tired of all the stuff popping up in my feed of flat Earth, and I was like, "Are you serious, dude? This is ridiculous. I'm going to disprove this." And I found a guy that was offering a Bitcoin or two to prove it for one proof. And I said, "Okay, well that'd be easy." Yeah, look into it. Find one proof that doesn't have to do with the space agency. Good luck. I've been looking since 2013, 14, and haven't been able to find any. If you go to flatearthdave.com, he has some of the most excellent resources as far as to be able to entertain both sides to see which you do want to believe. But a lot of it is perspective. And unfortunately, when you're told lies from the time that you're 4 or 5 years old, then that becomes your belief system, whether or not it's true or not. And I always wondered why I had such a hard time in school because I'd ask the teacher, I'm like, why? And they couldn't explain it. And then I would get in trouble for asking why. And it always made me not believe the teacher because it didn't make any sense. Hello, Ert. Thanks for stopping by. And they don't like it when you question them, even as a young kid. And the way I saw it is if you knew something, you should be able to explain why and how it works, not just tell me to shut up and that's how it is. And that never sat well. So I stood up for myself even back then. And it made it very, public school was not good for me, but I didn't ever fall in line. Uh, I would speak my mind, and if I didn't agree, you would definitely know it. So I just want everybody to, like, back when they did Woodstock, it was everybody was coming together, and the powers that be realized that that was too dangerous. Just like they say, there's a few of them, there's millions of us. Because don't believe that there's 8 point whatever billion or 7.9 billion people. I think that's another thing to try to make it seem too big to try to wrap your mind around. It's like NASA with their 90 million miles away stuff. it's a number that's so big that you can't conceive it. So it's easy to just think about it and dismiss it when that's not the case. You need to actually look into it. Uh, it's a bunch of. Hi, Roger. Good morning. Hope you're having a fabulous day, and I hope the day finds you guys all smiling. And then you have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. Anyway, my wife got tired of me talking her ear off about all the conspiracy stuff, and she told me I just need to start doing it on here. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. So, dinosaurs, don't think they're real. I think they're leftovers from dragons, because dragons are throughout history in all cultures. I appreciate it, Roger. You the man. Shout out. So, I'm probably going to do more lives every morning. Maybe not on the weekends, but probably. For some reason, I keep waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Every morning. It's stupid. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed, I still wake up at 3. If anybody else is having that same issue, I think there's something funny going on. Thanks, Ert. I don't know you, but I'm pretty. I like a lot of people, unless they treat me bad. Then I'll still give you a second chance, usually. That's awesome. Have you guys looked into any of the other conspiracies that are out there? My lunch break. He does some on some of the old buildings and the narrative that we've been fed about who built them, and that they took less than a year. Some of these, I do construction, and he brought up some points that I hadn't even thought about, which was funny because I thought I knew most of the conspiracies that were out there. But there's so many buildings that the time frame, and then when they start playing all the stories, I've been following him since he had, I don't know, only a couple hundred subs, and now he's up to where he's doing it really good. It's called My Lunch Break. He does a lot of old world buildings and history and the narratives. And if you look into it, the fire narrative, he believes is some kind of a signature. Hi, Savalon. I hope I said that right. Hope you're having an awesome day. It's, I think there's a lot to it, and it does involve Tartaria. I really want to know how Tartaria fell, and fell so recently that it's still on the maps in the late 1700s. Yet we never heard anything about it. But then again, we never heard anything about Nikolai Tesla. And that's, we should have. There's way too much that he did for our culture and for the world and was trying to do that it didn't get. There's a reason it was all hidden. And I think that the thunderstorm generator that they're on to now, that puts out clean 20% oxygen out of the exhaust, I think that's amazing. What do you do for life? I research life. I try to figure out what we're doing here, what our purpose is, and I definitely know that the stuff that we've been told ain't right. Oh, I wish I could sing. Yeah, that's. I've been told I can't hold a tune other than in country, and I sound like a dying horse. So, thanks, though. I appreciate that. Uh, that you guys are awesome. What do you guys do? I don't know. Do you get? No. All right. Oh, and you left. Okay, that's all right. I don't know. It's my first live, so just trying to get it going. Never done it before. It's my first time. So, you guys that came in, Thank you. What do you mean, what do I do for life? For work? Work, I do construction. I used to do electronic repair, phones, tablets, stuff like that. I did that for about 10 years. And then about 5, 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago now, I switched over to construction. Uh, there wasn't enough profit after COVID. It really killed the whole repair industry unless you had a really big shop with all the equipment already. And it seemed like everybody that I went to work for, they started out pretty good and then they got too greedy. And that's how my mother was. She made a lot of money when she was really young, and she worked her ass off for it. And there's nothing wrong with hard work. I believe in hard work. I think if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. I mean, if you got time to do it, you got time to do it right. That's one of my favorite sayings that old man Roger, an old construction guy out of California, told me. I say, if you got time to do it, you got time to do it right. Otherwise, you ain't got time to do it. So don't even bother doing it if you're just going to do it half-assed. The reason we weren't born with half an ass, and it's because you need a whole ass shit. So anyway, mainly remodels, bathrooms, kitchens, uh, closets. We can make a closet look badass in a weekend, even if there's not a lot of room. But which you can want. Anontesla, it is because I liked Anonymous before it became pretty much. Uh, I don't know what happened to the Anonymous official channel, but it's absolutely just regurgitated BS anymore, and it's more like fear porn. I do go fishing. I like fishing a lot, especially in Oklahoma. Not really. I don't like fishing in Oklahoma. They're all pond fish pretty much. And my wife wants to go do that. Where you stick your hand in a catfish hole, noodling. Yeah. And I told her I'd go once because I've never done it. But that I think it's a silly idea. Whoever came up with that idea had more time than brains on their hand. Sticking your hand in a big old hole with something that could outweigh you and drown you does not sound like a good idea to me. But that's just my opinion. I told her I'd go with her. Shit, I'll support her in anything she wants to do, at least once. Uh, Plus, somebody's got to pull her little ass out of there if she gets got. But I also think she'll yank her arm out as soon as the fish gets on it. Anyhow, you guys need to go to the FE Clock app. That one is an amazing app. The way he's organized that to give everybody the resources for any questions that they have regarding where we live and what this place is compared to what we've been told. We live in a very magical place. Like, I'm very magical. And kind of like with Harry Potter and muggles and all that, I definitely think that there is more truth to that than than most realize. Um, there's been magic throughout history, and when you look into it, there's a reason it's been kept secret, and it's a lot of they don't want us to know. I mean, what's the best way to keep a society or whatever dumbed down? Don't tell them where they live to start with. Don't tell them where they come from. There's a saying that says if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I do think that's why that came into fruition. I think that there's a lot of things that little things like looking away from our phone and spending time with the people around us. One thing that you have to realize is that there's really no future or past. There's only the moment that exists. Yes, you remember things, but do you know if you actually remember them or if they were just put in there for you to remember. We think we experienced them, but when you look at reality and what it is, how do you know? It's definitely a very interesting thought. All right, well, we'll try this again in the morning tomorrow. Might try it again later. I don't know yet. This is all still pretty new. But thank you guys for coming by, checking it out, and I hope you have a blessed day. Or actually, that's supposedly that's a spell, which I didn't know until recently, so I'm trying to break my habit of saying it. Hope you have a great day, and that the day finds you smiling. Uh, they say that all of our words are, that's why it's called spelling when we learn how to use words and to write them down, because that the spelling actually can cast a spell. And by saying bless you, it is actually saying be less. So when I do say it, I don't mean it that way. I mean it positively. And I'm hoping that you are blessed by whoever you hold as a higher power. And we're not even going to get into that because there's three things you don't talk about: religion, politics, and it used to be sex, but I really think more it's like you don't talk about flat earth unless you know somebody. Whew, buddy. But a real easy one to look into that's right in front of you is the chemtrails. The stuff that they spray behind the planes, it doesn't dissipate in 15 minutes. If you watch it, it spreads out and looks like a hazy crap. Which at one point I heard that they're doing that to make it look like an infinite sky when it's nowhere near an infinite sky. And that's why we see the halos around the sun, things like that, is it's actually reflecting off of the firmament. Like if you look at a rainbow, the rainbow is always curved. Okay, if it's curved, a rainbow portrays. Oh, sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. A rainbow portrays the shape that the light is shining through. So if it's curved and a half moon, not a full circle, then it's shining through something curved. Look up Project Fishbowl, Project Dominic, which means of the Lord. It's talking about the Lord's fishbowl, which is our earth. If you look into biblical cosmology, it talks about us looking like grasshoppers underneath a tent that's stretched out above us. And now this isn't a biblical channel, it's just a reference. But look into that because there's definitely, it's not an infinite. Space is fake. Look into that because NASA has been lying to us since the beginning. There's a reason NASA means to deceive in Hebrew, uh, and has a serpent's tongue running through its logo. So it took me quite a while to even get on here to even think about talking about any of this. But, anyways, you guys have to let me know what you think. Much love.